Welcome Tushar.
Okay. Hello. Hey. Hello, everyone. So, I'm seeing these many people almost after 3 years. So, excuse my nervousness. Okay. And then the second thing, I realized that this is the last session before the lunch. So, I promise I'll keep this short. Okay. And I hope you guys don't ask too many questions, so we can keep it even shorter. Okay. Yeah. So all of us are aware of the numbers, right? So roughly e-commerce industry in general is about $85 billion. We are talking specifically about India. But how people are driving the sales, right? So the standard process, digital marketing, SEO, text and video content, InstaFams, TikTok celebrities, in-article advertises around where to buy, what that particular celebrity is wearing, and so on. Okay? But e-commerce was always a buyer's marketplace, right? People wanted to buy what they wanted to buy. And this model is essentially kind of a model in which you are trying to sell something to people. But how do you know what people want, right? So in order to understand, right, what user essentially need is a more integrated experiences, okay? So break the barriers, online versus offline. You see all the e-commerce companies starting, most recent companies starting online and now having the presence in brick and mortar stores in various malls now, right? They are trying to break the barriers. Mobile apps, voice apps, kind of integration among themselves, right? Then kind of you want to predict the shopping list, what users want, and help them prepare their shopping list, right? And overall, like, facilitate an experience instead of, just shamelessly selling products to them, right? That is the overall idea through which you can actually reach somewhere in this space going forward. So there are a few interesting solutions that we developed, and I quickly wanted to talk about those 3 solutions. Okay, so the first one is called JennyCap, okay? So ideally, whatever you are trashing, you are more or less likely to refill it again, right? So ideally, your trash should be your shopping cart also, right? That is the idea with which we helped the company develop this product, right? So, you throw stuff in the trash can, but what if you want to refill it at the same time, right? So the idea is we had the company make a device that you can attach to any trash can, okay? You scan the items while you are throwing them, and then the items are sent as a lead to the hyperlocal market, or if you have already hooked up your e-commerce, e-commerce sites with it, they all kind of start going as a, your shop. They start getting added into your shopping cart. Now, if you're throwing a Coca-Cola can, it can be scanned, right? But if you are throwing banana peels, they can't be, right? So for that, you essentially need voice integration. So we did the voice integration for the stuff that do not have barcodes, right? So this solution we implemented. In terms of tech, we use React Native for iOS and Android applications. Same code base. You can compile the binaries for different OS. Node.js for the backend, MongoDB, and then AngularJS for the admin interface we used here. The other one, so you cook what you buy, or you buy what you cook, right? This is another interesting company with whom we have been working for almost 5 years now. They actually have an oven, and with that oven, you can, you can have a collaborative experience of cooking, right? So let's say you want to make tandoori chicken, right? So, you can say that you want to make a tandoori chicken, and then it would say, okay, throw in 500 gram of chicken for the marination. And these are the 5 steps. So these are coming on your phone, and at the same time, oven is kind of heating and adjusting the temperature for itself. So essentially, like, now as you know what people are cooking, now you start kind of nudging them about the ingredients, kind of personalize the recipes, start kind of pushing the ingredients in e-commerce stores website again. So this is something that had been like reasonably successful. And then kind of you do the studies about, in terms of kind of the personalized recipes, right? Based on what people have done, what they are expected to, cook next, what is it that they are looking for, right? So a lot of analytics go behind the scene. So Swift iOS, Java for Android, Java Spring Boot, MongoDB is the backend, and then AWS IoT thing is being used there, and then Vue.js for the front end. The third one is called Venture, okay? A company based out of Australia with whom we have been working. So essentially what you browse is what you buy, right? So that is the thing that a lot of companies like Moment Feed and all, they have been trying to solve. So essentially the whole idea is like using an app, whatever you have browsed, once you go in a physical brick and mortar shop, you actually get a notification that these things are available, but more importantly, someone knows that these were the 3 things that you have browsed last night, and this is what you are expected to buy, right? So someone who is tracking the conversation, he's a lot more informed than just a random sales guy saying, hey, how can I help you, right? Nearer the mic? Okay, thank you. So, so that was the problem, right? How do you integrate the online browsing experience with brick and mortar stores, right? But in order to achieve that, you have to ensure that the app is on, because finally you are using the beacons, connecting and doing a bunch of monkey business around it, right? Now, in order to actually, kind of encourage user to keep the app on, you can't say, hey, keep the app on, and you would get better recommendation, or the salesman who is going to attend you is going to be more informed. Now you have to kind of soft pedal it, sell it in some other way, right? So essentially the idea is, when you have gone inside, let's say, in Orbit Mall, like, so how do you navigate inside a shopping mall, right? So you are, there are maps, but you don't know how to, where to look for what, right? So in order to encourage users, so we have kind of, shopping mall map. So that is there. Then we enable visually impaired people. They would be able to navigate inside a shopping mall, okay? And then additionally, what started happening, more like a byproduct of that original problem, is like we were able to, we kind of started estimating the value of a spot in a mall, right? So ICICI credit card guys, should they be standing right next to KFC or next to Starbucks? What is a good time to sell, right? What kind of heat map, location heat map you are seeing? So we kind of, because we knew where people are moving, we started getting this kind of information, okay? Here the technologies, we were doing the triangulation across the beacons to figure out where exactly the user is. Third-party internal mapping services, there are a couple of them that we have integrated with. Google text-to-voice and voice-to-text APIs. Then Firebase to capture the movement of people, right? Because now you are not dealing in lat long, you are dealing literally in XY coordinates, right? And in order to kind of track that movement, we tried multiple ways to do it. The best option that we could actually come up with is having the Firebase integration, so that it takes care of what happens when the net connectivity goes down and so on, right? Then Java, Android, Swift, iOS, Python, MongoDB, and React for the heat maps. So quick recap. Users need a more integrated experience. I copied the same slide, nothing changes. Okay. Break the barriers, online versus offline, mobile apps, voice apps, predict their shopping list, help user prepare their shopping list, and facilitate an experience instead of just selling the products. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tushar. Interesting insights. Any questions from the audience?
Yes.
Here as well.
Hi. You mentioned about this visual impaired people browsing a shopping mall.
Correct.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on the solution part?
Okay, so essentially you are helping them navigate through voice, okay? So whatever solution you have, kind of internal mapping solution that you have integrated, right? So what it gives you, like you tell here the user is, okay, here is the user. You send the coordinates to it, I mean XY coordinates to it. It gives you like, if from here someone wants to go to barista, right? These are the ways that he should be going. Left, right, 50 meter, walk 50 meter and so on, right? And what we essentially started doing is started converting them, that into, voice. So it was basically, we were getting through the APIs, we are getting the text. The conversion of text to voice and voice to text is happening on the mobile device itself at this point of time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So all the use cases that were presented were essentially around need-based sales.
Correct.
What about cross-sell and upsell?
Interesting. But, I mean, that also kind of falls in the very regular way of, the traditional way of selling, right? When you bought an iPhone, like sell the charger or sell the headphone, or I don't think iPhone gives anything with it, right? So, I mean, you can sell whatever you want along with iPhone, right? So cross-sell, there are interesting, ideas, there are interesting implementation. Even in the as basic as kind of Magento or your WooCommerce, right? There are about half decent, cross-selling and upselling options that are available. We haven't done any kind of interesting thing around that, other than kind of just turning off that plugin of cross-selling and upselling for Magento or WooCommerce or Drupal, whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Doing it, the predictive analysis or the user behavioral analytics, the UBA, right? So everyone is doing it. So what is different in your product where we can say confidently this is something new out of the box?
So it is more, as I said, it is more integrated experience, right? So this is not like a just come to Amazon and buy things and I will predict what you would buy, right? It is slightly more integrated, rather a lot more integrated, right? Just if you look at the example of Oven, right? That's more integrated experience, and that integration is actually driving the sales. There is an interesting company actually which does something very similar into coffee making space. These might be kind of a niche things, from the user's perspective, but what they are able to do is kind of generate a demand and kind of help you organize yourself better. So do we need it as a user? I'm not sure. Would I use it? Oven, I would definitely use. Jennyken, probably I would use. I don't know about Venture. Would I use it and would I be comfortable sharing my movements with people? That where I'm going, what I'm doing. So depending upon what comfort level are, and we like it or not. Like anytime you go into deeper integration, you are walking that thin line on the privacy. So that is what it is. So
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah.
The privacy, because the last one which you showed, it doesn't give me a confidence or, that what about my data? Because it's like 24 by now 7 you're recording me, you're having my movements, but never I saw some privacy or security thing, which is mentioned.
Correct. So essentially when users are signing up, they are kind of logging in, you are kind of prompting them saying, hey, this is what is getting collected, right? And beyond that, honestly, like for a lack of a better example, right? People are sharing their honeymoon photos on Facebook, right? So, I mean, everyone has their own comfort level when it comes to privacy. I wouldn't use it, to be honest. But having said that, like there are enough people who see value in it, right? So, and it's a moving target, right? Pretty much in e-commerce space, if you see lately, everyone is kind of trying to hit some target. They are trying to do something around analytics, something around, integration, something around kind of, aggregation. So they are trying different things, and let's see, like, whatever drives the revenue, eventually, that is going to be the winner. So let's see. Pardon?
part of it.
Uh-huh.
So because we are saying a lot of use cases here which are kind of very specific use cases, okay? So do we see really revenue of investment that we are putting in? Will it give it us back that much or more than that? What do we see in that, those kind of use cases that you just explained?
So these are again like luxurious experiences, right? Especially first two, right? You know, everyone got their own pick, right? Do they need it or don't need it? But you know, in general, if you see, right, that is the next level of comfort that people are looking for, right? Everyone got AC, everyone is driving half-decent car, you know. So what next, you know? And so this is where we are going with it, right? So that is my broad sense. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is how I look at all these ideas, you know. So
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tushar. Indeed, an interesting, insightful session for all of us. And here is a token of appreciation from NASSCOM for you.